Hello, this is James Rivers with Green Mainland Luxury Windows and Doors, and I'm here at a project that we partnered on with Shikarny Homes here in Bartonville, Texas. If you're planning to move to Texas and you're looking for a window and door supplier, please contact Green Mainland Luxury Windows and Doors. We'd love to help you. And part of this video is just teaching you a little bit more about how to get your windows and doors outfitted for your home as well. These windows are designed for the Texas heat, and how that happens is they have a powder coating on the outside, which keeps them from bubbling in the sun, and it also keeps them from cracking in the cold. So it's very important when you have a window set like this that all the glass comes from the same place, because that one company will produce the same quality glass at each section with the same iron content, and you're not going to have different colored glass all stacked up next to each other. The lights in the transom above the door were manufactured with the same thickness of a frame to make sure that it matches the sliding door, which is something that you get custom when you order the windows together. So even if you look at the exterior here, you can see an example already. The brick line that you have on the door is the same as the brick line that you have on the windows. That's very easy to do regardless of what window you use, but then to have the same thing happen on the interior is relatively difficult. So now we're going to go inside, lock the door. Now we're going to go inside and take a look at the home from the interior. So immediately what you see on these sliding doors here is that they have a very thick frame. Not because it's a thick frame door, but because there's 3 panels. So you need 3 tracks. They use steel tracks to make sure that everything runs smoothly for a long period of time, and they use steel hardware. So there's a little bit of thickness that's required to the track. Each track is about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. So all in all, you're coming to about 6 to 8 inches of track thickness. And then if you look up above, you'll notice that the windows themselves also match the same thickness. So that frame was actually custom manufactured to be the same thickness as the door below it, so that you can have that cohesive design. And then regardless of whether you're doing a contemporary home or a classical home, you still have that clean line that fits in with the surrounding. That's very important. You can also see the glass color significantly better from the interior here and how they all match. It would be catastrophic if the top was green, the middle was blue, and the bottom was clear. So make sure that you get your glass from a single space. Next, I want to show you the operation of these doors. And this is part of the advantage of if this is the track, the wheel is going to sit on top of the track and it's going to slide over it. You can see over here that these doors each operate on a double steel track here. And so you have 2 sets of wheels per door that distribute the weight of the door. If you had one track, you can sometimes run into the issue where that single track is now supporting the full weight of the door. And so the friction that you have on that one tire is significantly stronger than if you have 2 tracks, which reduces the friction that you have and essentially makes the door slide easier. The glass itself, you can see a little bit clearer. The glass package here typically uses a 5 or a 6 millimeter pane of glass, and that's for durability, but then it also uses a double tempering as well as a low E coating and a double glazing as well, so that if you slam into it or if you knock something into the glass, there typically isn't an issue with breakage. Now, I do want to mention around the home here that Shikarny Homes does a wonderful job of integrating the woodwork and the stone on the interior of the home as well, which is kind of a unique trait to what they do. And you can see here that the floors and the cabinetry and the countertops, they all match in a very seamless way. And so that creates an integrated look to the home that's both beautiful and elegant, and you're not gonna wake up in a week after buying the house and think, hey, that doesn't match, because it's all done by one company. So moving on to some of the sliders, we're gonna take a look over here. So here you have some of the sliders, and as you can see, they have an integrated handle into the frame itself, so it relatively disappears when closed. And then you pop that out and you pull it open. These have a 1-inch sight line, just like the doors themselves. And so the glass space that you're going to get on these windows is going to be significantly better than, say, if the sight line was a 2 or 3 inch. Now, something to note on that is, depending on your insulation and energy efficiency requirements, this option is going to be very energy efficient. But if you do a thicker frame, you can add a thermal break into the frame itself as well. Now, these ones I do see is there's a thermal break in, but this is something to look out for when you are buying new windows and doors, is there's usually a plastic thermal break either on the exterior or interior of the frame. Because this is a slim slide, there is no interior of the frame, and so you can see the thermal break, which is a hardened polymer, and that keeps energy transfer from transferring from this piece of aluminum to this piece of aluminum. And that's also on the exterior, which prevents it from traveling from the exterior piece of aluminum to the interior piece of aluminum. So you have a double thermal break between the exterior and the interior to make sure that energy efficiency is as high as possible. The glass itself also uses double pane, and on the sliding windows, which are smaller, it's going to be a 5mm with a 12mm gap. And so you're going to have two pieces of 5mm glass with a 12mm gap for air in the center, except that we replaced the air with argon because it transfers heat significantly slower than air as well. The low E coating is going to keep the UV rays from coming in from, for instance, the hot Texas sun and damaging the furniture on the interior. So the fading, everything that you have to deal with from standard single pane windows isn't something that you have to deal with from a double pane low E tempered glass. You want to always ask about the level of low E tempering because that ranges from 93% to 70 to 60 to 50. Depending on what you need, we can add that in as well. So standard is a 73%. That allows some sunlight, some warmth to be felt from the sunlight, but it also preserves the energy efficiency of the home vastly above most of the other windows on the market. Yeah. Yes. So if you follow us over this way, you're going to be able to see one of the casement windows. And these casement windows are... We'll go upstairs. Yeah. So follow me upstairs and we'll take a better look at what you can do on the upper levels of a home, because these windows may or may not need to be opened as much, or they may just be included as essentially lighting fixtures for hallways. So one of the things that we do quite often is fixed windows on hallways, and this just allows natural light to stream into the stairwells as well as the bedrooms, depending on where you're situated. Overlooking the entrance here, again, I have to hand it to Shikarny Homes. They really designed an excellent view of both the chandeliers and the glass space as well as the living room. Part of the reason why you have windows this high up on the living space is so that while you're up here on the catwalk close to the ceiling, you have that natural light coming in. It really expands the space. So coming over here, we're going to give you a look at some of the sliding windows on the upper levels and kind of how that glass space gives you a better look at the scenery. When you're at a place like this, like Texas, which is flat, you have a lot of scenery to look at. And now if you're in the mountains or wherever you're at, you want to be able to see that as much as possible. So the thin sight lines help highlight that. And then you can also embed a significant portion of the frame behind the trimming, depending on how much you want to be visible as well. So having that smooth operation, thin sight lines, and then having a steel mesh on the exterior helps to make sure that you're not, you're secure, and that you also have that viewpoint that you're looking for. One thing that happens when you come to us is that all of your windows are ordered from the same place. They have a single warranty under the same company, and they all arrive at the same time, same date, same installation crew. If anything needs to be staggered, all the communication runs through one person. So the design can be unanimous, the warranty can be unanimous, and the delivery can also be unanimous. And that just makes it a whole lot easier for your contractor or for you as a homeowner to make sure that everything goes as planned and that you also get a quality, insulated, energy efficient window that you don't have to have questions on after you get it all done. So again, this is James Rivers with Green Mainland Luxury Windows and Doors in partnership with Shikarny Homes. Not sponsored, just partnership because they do genuinely fantastic homes. So please get that subscribe button or contact me at 945-351-7511 or email us directly and we'll link that below. Thank you so much and have a great day.